Friends, we were discussing generation of stiffness matrix, and I have seen application of unit deflection at my coordinate 1 in this particular structure. Now next step, applying unit deflection at coordinate 2. Applying unit deflection at coordinate 2. Applying unit deflection at coordinate 2. Now I am drawing it separately. जानबूझ के सेपरेट निकल रहा हूँ मैं ए बी बी सी और सी डी. Now where is coordinate 2? Coordinate 2 is anti-clockwise rotation at C. This means it will be rotated like this. This means it will be rotated like this. This is anti-clockwise rotation of the tangent. This is anti-clockwise rotation of tangent. This means the deflected shape of CB will be like this, and deflected shape of CD will be like this. Deflected shape of CD will be like this. So this is C. I am applying unit deflection at C, that is equal to theta C is equal to 1. Theta C is equal to 1. This is theta C and this is theta C. Okay. Again, what are the various moments generated? The first moment in the portion CB will be 4 into 2 EI, 4 EI by L. L is 3 for the portion CB. 4 into 2 EI by 3, and it will be 2 into 2 EI by 3 at B. 4 into 2 EI by 3 and 2 into 2 EI by 3. And what is the moment in the portion CD? It will be 4 EI by L. So 4 into EI is EI by 4, and at D it will be 2 into EI is EI by 4. Length is 4. 2 EI by L, 4 EI by L. Both will be anti-clockwise. Now with these anti-clockwise forces, there should be some counterbalancing reactions so that it is balanced. So if these two are allowed to rotate this, they will allow to rotate in anti-clockwise direction, then there must be some set of forces which are acting like this, and the value of the force is 6 EI by L square. So 6 into EI is EI, L square, that is 4 square, 6 EI by 16, 6 EI by 16. Now these two will try to rotate in clockwise direction, these two will try to rotate in anti-clockwise direction. This structure is balanced. Similarly friends, there will be two set of reactions over here. Two set of reactions which I am not considering, which I am not even writing it at this portion in BC, because I know there is no coordinate which is corresponding to this direction, but there is coordinate which is corresponding to the direction CD, which is corresponding to the direction, perpendicular direction CD. So am I in a position to write K12, that is force at coordinate 1 due to unit deflection at coordinate 2. My coordinate 1 is anti-clockwise at A, anti-clockwise at B. So what is the anti-clockwise force at B? It is 4 EI by 3, that is equal to 1.33 EI. K22, what is K22? Force at coordinate 2 due to unit deflection at coordinate 2. So force at coordinate 2, 8 EI by 3 plus 4 EI by 4, both are acting in anti-clockwise direction, both are acting at C. My coordinate 2 is at C, so I will write 8 EI by 3 plus 4 EI by 4. I have already calculated, that comes out to be 3.67 EI. And now interesting, what is K32? Force at coordinate 3. Now where is my coordinate 3? Friends, look at this. Where is my coordinate 3? Coordinate 3 is deflection at B. But that is equal to deflection at C. I don't need to consider both the deflections. That's why I have omitted this. But this means coordinate 3 is either deflection at B or deflection at C. So is there any force acting at coordinate 3? Yes, this is the force acting at coordinate 3. This is the most important concept to be understood. My coordinate 3 is not only at B, it is also at C. Since both the deflections will be same, because there is no axial deformation of BC, whatever is the deflection at B, same will be the deflection at C. That's why I have ignored this, and I have delta B is equal to delta C, that is equal to 3. This means this also is equal to 3. So my K32 is 6 EI by 16, and that is equal to 0.375 EI. I have taken this positive because the direction of the coordinate 3 is acting towards right, and this is also acting towards right. If this point is understood, you have won nearly 75% of the battle. So applying unit deflection at coordinate 2, this is the diagram of unit deflection at coordinate 2, and I have generated this second column of stiffness matrix. Now very interesting, applying unit deflection at coordinate 3. Applying unit deflection at coordinate 3. applying unit deflection at coordinate 3. Now again I am drawing a separate structure ABBCCD. Now my friends, where is my coordinate 3? Yes, where is my coordinate 3? My coordinate 3 is delta B and delta C. So I should apply unit deflection both at delta B and delta C. First time the translational stiffness diagram will come into play. Delta B is equal to 1 and delta C is equal to 1. My coordinate 3 is both delta B and delta C. So if I am applying unit deflection at coordinate 3, that means delta B that is equal to delta C and that is equal to 1. So I am applying translational stiffness diagram for the first time. So what are the various forces that are generated due to this deflection? The first force is 12 EI, EI is EI by L cube, 4 cube is 64. 12 EI by L cube, that is 4 cube, that is 64. The second force again here 12 EI by L cube, again the same, EI for CD is also EI and L for CD is 4, so 12 EI by 64, 12 EI by 64. Similarly at this it will be 12 EI by L cube, 12 EI by L cube, that is 12 EI by 64 and 12 EI by 64 at both the ends, right? Now since these two will, now this is around translational stiffness diagram, these two will try to rotate in clockwise direction, there must be some anti-clockwise moments, 6 EI by L square, that is 16, and 6 EI by L square, that is 16. Similarly over here 6 EI by L square, that is 16, and here also 6 EI by L square, that is 16. So this is the diagram. Now due to this deflection, whether BC portion is going to get affected? No, not at all. BC will deflect as it is. There is no deflection in BC. There is a deflection perpendicular to AB. There is a deflection perpendicular to CD. Deflection perpendicular to AB, deflection perpendicular to CD, but BC portion will not get affected at all. So there is no force which is generated in the portion BC. So this is the diagram of unit deflection at coordinate 3. Now I am writing K13. What is K13? Force at coordinate 1 due to unit deflection at coordinate 3. Now what is my coordinate 1? Anticlockwise at B. What is the anticlockwise force at B? Yes, anticlockwise force at B is 6 EI by 16, that is 0.375 EI. What is K23? Force at coordinate 2 due to unit deflection at coordinate 3. This is a diagram of unit deflection at coordinate 3. So force at coordinate 2 is 6 EI by 16. 6 EI by 16, that is 0.375 upon EI. Now my friends, it is interesting. K33. K33, where is coordinate 3? Coordinate 3 is deflection at B as well as deflection at C. Both these are coordinate 3. Both these are coordinate 3. So what is the coordinate 3? It is 12 EI by 64 plus 12 EI by 64. This is the thing that needs to be understood by every student. If you understand this, you have won the battle. You have won the battle. So that is equal to 24 EI by 64 and that is equal to 0.375 EI. K33 is 0.375 EI. So my friends, K13, force at coordinate 1 due to unit deflection at coordinate 3, force at coordinate 2 due to unit deflection at coordinate 3, and force at coordinate 3. Both these coordinates are coordinate 3, that is by 12 EI by 64 and 12 EI by 64. So that is 24 EI by 64, that comes out to be 0.375. So now can I write K matrix? K matrix is equal to EI, and I will write the first column. The first column I have just generated over here. The first column is 3.67, 1.33, 0.375. This is my first column of the stiffness matrix. Now second column of the stiffness matrix, this is how I have generated. It is 1.33, 3.67 and 0.375. This is my second column of stiffness matrix. What is the third column of stiffness matrix? Just now I have generated. It is 0.375. This is 0.375 and this is 0.375. Friends, just check whether it satisfies all the conditions of stiffness matrix. Yes, all the diagonal elements are positive and all the other elements are symmetrical. This means This is 3 by 3 matrix. Since degree of kinematic indeterminacy is 3, 3 by 3 matrix. All the diagonal elements positive, all other elements are symmetrical. This means our calculations are correct. Now the next step, that is the most important step of the next step, that is step 5. In this case it is step 5 is writing equilibrium equation. Step 5 is writing equilibrium equation. Writing equilibrium equation. So writing equilibrium equation, just a minute. Writing equilibrium equation. All of us know equilibrium equation. P is equal to Fem plus K delta. Fem plus K delta. Now what is P? P is the moments, P is the force acting at coordinate 1, 2 and 3. Fem is the Fem matrix and delta is the deflection matrix. Now this is interesting. Now this is very much interesting. Pay attention to this. This is very much interesting. Pay attention to this. P is equal to Fem plus K delta. Fem plus K delta. Now look at this. Look at this. Coordinate 1. So what is my P matrix in this case? What is the external force? Is there any external force acting at coordinate 1? Yes. There is external force 22.5. This 22.5 we have not considered in our fixed end moment. This 22.5 is acting at joint B and 1 is also acting at joint B anticlockwise. This is also anticlockwise. So P is equal to 22.5. P is equal to P1 is equal to 22.5. External force acting at coordinate 1, that is 22.5 kilonewton meter. We have not considered this force in fixed end moment. We have to consider it over here. 22.5. What is P2? Yes, P2 is anticlockwise at C. Is there any force at C in the direction of P2? Yes, there is a force, but it is clockwise. That is why P2 is 0. P2 is minus 20. P2 is minus 20. And what about 3? External moment. Is there any force? If there would have been, अगर यहाँ पे कोई force रहता 100 kilonewton वाला, वो हम लोगों ने P3 में लिया रहता, ना कि fixed end moment में. Because if the load is acting at the joint, we should not consider it in fixed end moment. Since at coordinate 3 there is no force, so P3 is equal to 0. So this is P1, P2, P3. Fem matrix already we have calculated. Fem matrix already we have calculated. Fem we know 550 is equal to 550. K matrix, just now we have calculated EI into bracket. Just now we have calculated the stiffness matrix for the structure. Just now we have calculated the stiffness matrix for the structure. EI into bracket 3.67, 1.33.375, 1.33.375, 1.33, 3.67.375, and the third row, third column 0.375, 0.375, 0.375. So this is K matrix into delta 1, delta 2, delta 3 into delta 1, delta 2, delta 3. This is the condition of 3 equations with 3 unknown, 3 simultaneous equations with 3 unknown, which can be solved, and therefore delta 1, that is nothing but theta b, is equal to 8.199 upon EI. This is positive. This means our assumed direction is right. This means theta b is anti-clockwise. Our assumed direction is right. Theta b is anti-clockwise. I have solved these 3 equations with 3 unknown. Delta 2 is equal to theta c, that is equal to minus 9.96 upon EI. This is negative. This means our assumed direction was wrong and theta c must be acting clockwise direction. I am writing this because I need to use it in our slope deflection equation. Delta 3 is nothing but delta b is equal to delta c. That comes out to be 1.764 upon EI. This means if it is positive, this means it is acting towards right. This means my assumed direction is right. Okay, it is acting towards right. So I have calculated delta 1, delta 2, delta 3 as like this by having these 3 equations. I hope you understood. Once we convert the structure into equivalent structure, everything becomes simple. Only thing we need to take care while writing P matrix, because rest procedure is same, right hand side procedure is same as we have carried out in our all earlier examples. We need to take care for writing out P matrix. Once we go for delta 1, delta 2, delta 3, remaining procedure is simple. I can write the slope deflection equations to get my final end moments. I hope you have understood this. Thank you.